Welcome, esteemed gentlemen. Those who walk their own path often cast the longest shadow. In a world obsessed with alphas and betas, the Sigma male walks alone, a shadowy figure who defies labels, thrives in solitude, and refuses to play by society's rules. They don't seek validation, they don't follow trends, and they certainly don't need your approval. But here's the kicker. This enigmatic independence, while inspiring to some, has others clutching their pearls and whispering, "Villain." It's a fascinating paradox. Psychology suggests that humans are wired to mistrust what they don't understand, and Sigma males, unbothered, unapologetic, and untraceable, are walking enigmas. Pair that with their uncanny ability to outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast almost anyone, and it's no wonder they're mistaken for villains. After all, who wouldn't side-eye the guy who's calm in chaos and smiles like he knows something you don't? But are Sigma males really the villains of the social hierarchy? Or is it just our fear of the unconventional playing tricks on us? Buckle up, because what you're about to read may have you questioning everything you thought you knew about heroes, villains, and the lone wolves in between. Spoiler, sometimes the bad guy isn't so bad. He's just minding his business. Number 1, they redefine masculinity in a threatening way. Sigma males redefine masculinity in ways that can feel unsettling to those clinging to traditional ideas of what it means to be a man. They don't march to the beat of any drum, they've built their own orchestra. This quiet defiance strikes at the core of societal norms, where masculinity is often measured by dominance, loudness, and a need to lead or submit. Alphas conquer, betas comply, but Sigmas? They step out of the entire game, leaving everyone else scrambling to make sense of them. For generations, masculinity has been framed in binary terms, strong or weak, leader or follower, hero or sidekick. Then comes the Sigma male, who shatters the mold by rejecting these labels outright. He's not loud or aggressive, yet he's undeniably powerful. He's not seeking validation, yet he's respected. He doesn't care to dominate, yet his presence alone commands attention. This quiet confidence flips the script on masculinity, making him a walking contradiction, one that society struggles to define. People often fear what disrupts the norm, and Sigma males do just that. Their independence makes them uncontainable. Their detachment makes them unpredictable. It's no wonder they're sometimes labeled as villains. They challenge the very foundation of what's comfortable and familiar. A Sigma male's refusal to play by society's rules can come off as arrogance, even though it's just authenticity. In their eyes, strength isn't about controlling others, but about mastering oneself. What really throws people off is their lack of need for approval. In a world where so many thrive on external validation, the Sigma male's self-sufficiency feels almost rebellious. They're redefining masculinity on their own terms, and for some, that's not just unsettling, it's downright threatening. Number 2, neutrality can feel malevolent. Neutrality, while often seen as a sign of wisdom or restraint, can easily be misinterpreted as indifference, especially in a world that demands people take sides. Sigma males, known for their self-reliance and detachment from societal pressures, often choose not to get involved in conflicts or drama that don't directly concern them. To them, neutrality is a logical stance. It avoids unnecessary entanglements, conserves energy, and keeps emotions in check. But to others, this unwillingness to engage can feel eerily cold, even malevolent. In times of chaos, people look for leaders, allies, or at least participants. Someone standing on the sidelines, observing without intervening, can evoke a sense of unease. The Sigma male's ability to detach emotionally and remain uninvolved can make them appear complicit, as though their silence implies agreement with the chaos unfolding. It's easy to villainize someone who chooses to abstain while others are fighting battles or trying to restore order. The problem lies in perception. Neutrality can feel like apathy, and apathy is often mistaken for a lack of humanity. The Sigma male's refusal to pick a side or rush to judgment can make them seem calculating, as though they're watching the pieces fall into place for their own gain. In stories, villains are often depicted as the silent masterminds, quietly observing from the shadows while the world burns. The Sigma male's neutral stance can unintentionally mirror this trope, making people uneasy about their true intentions. What's overlooked, however, is that neutrality isn't inherently malicious. For the Sigma male, it's about prioritizing peace over unnecessary confrontation and independence over conformity. But in a society that values action over observation, this neutrality can easily be misread as an ominous lack of empathy. Number 3. People mistake mystery for deception. Mystery has always been a double-edged sword. On one hand, it captivates and intrigues. On the other, it breeds suspicion. Sigma males, with their deep preference for privacy and their natural reluctance to overshare, often walk this fine line. While they may simply value their own space and autonomy, their reserved nature can make others uneasy. In a world where oversharing is the norm and transparency is equated with trustworthiness, their mystery can easily be mistaken for deception. When someone reveals little about themselves, it leaves a void for others to fill with assumptions, often negative ones. People begin to wonder, what are they hiding? This skepticism is fueled by a psychological tendency to distrust what isn't fully understood. The Sigma male's refusal to follow the usual scripts of self-disclosure is seen as withholding rather than a simple boundary, making them seem like they have something to conceal. In popular culture, many villains share this trait. Their backstories are often shrouded in mystery, their motives obscured, and their next moves unpredictable. This archetype has conditioned people to equate a lack of openness with sinister intent. When a Sigma male opts for discretion, it can trigger the same associations. Is he calculating, manipulating, waiting for the perfect moment to strike? What's ironic is that for Sigma males, their mystery is not a strategy, but a reflection of their self-sufficiency. They don't feel the need to explain themselves to anyone or seek validation through personal revelations. But this self-contained nature often leaves them misinterpreted as cold, duplicitous, or untrustworthy. Ultimately, the Sigma male's mystery isn't about deception, it's about independence. Yet, in a society that demands constant access and overexposure, their privacy feels unnatural, even threatening, making it easy to project villainous traits onto them. Number 4. AntiHero Energy. Sigma males exude a powerful anti-hero energy that sets them apart from traditional archetypes. They're not interested in saving the day or basking in the applause of others, nor do they conform to societal expectations of heroism. Instead, they follow their own personal code of conduct, which often clashes with conventional ideas of right and wrong. This self-determined path, while admirable to some, can also make them seem morally ambiguous, eerily similar to the anti-heroes and villains who reject societal norms for their own principles. Unlike traditional heroes who are driven by duty or the need for approval, Sigma males act solely on their own terms. They don't seek validation, loyalty, or recognition from others. To outsiders, this lack of external motivation can appear cold or even selfish. When a Sigma male steps back from a crisis, choosing not to intervene, it's not because they're indifferent. It's because they don't see the point of engaging in something they deem unnecessary. But to a world that idolizes self-sacrificing heroes, this refusal can seem unsettling, even villainous. Much like anti-heroes in literature and film, Sigma males operate in shades of gray. They may not seek to harm, but they won't bend their values for the sake of appearing noble. This rejection of traditional morality creates an aura of unpredictability. They follow their own logic, often prioritizing their personal growth or peace over societal expectations, which can make others uneasy. The parallels to villains and anti-heroes emerge because of how they disrupt norms. Just as an anti-hero challenges the hero's idealism, the Sigma male's self-reliant, unbothered nature challenges society's expectations of collaboration and selflessness. In their quiet rebellion, they blur the lines between hero and villain, leaving people unsure whether to admire them or fear them. Number 5. Ambiguity breeds suspicion. Ambiguity is both a shield and a sword for Sigma males. Their preference for keeping their intentions and plans private allows them to move through life without unnecessary scrutiny or interference. While this ambiguity serves them well, it can also make others deeply suspicious. Unlike alpha males who broadcast their ambitions or beta males who are more transparent in their support roles, Sigma males operate in a gray zone, leaving people guessing about their true motives. This unpredictability, while intriguing, often leads to mistrust. Human nature craves clarity. We're wired to seek patterns and make sense of the world around us, especially when it comes to understanding people's actions and intentions. Sigma males, by refusing to clearly align themselves or reveal their goals, disrupt this process. Their enigmatic nature creates an informational void that others instinctively fill with their own assumptions, often negative ones. When someone doesn't openly share their thoughts or intentions, the default reaction is to suspect that they're hiding something. This is why Sigma males are so often compared to villains in popular narratives. Villains are frequently portrayed as shadowy figures whose plans are concealed until the very last moment. The Sigma male's ambiguous demeanor, calm, collected, and difficult to read, can evoke the same sense of unease. People start to wonder, what are they really after? What's their angle? The truth is often far less dramatic. Sigma males value their independence and prefer to work quietly, without the distractions of explaining or justifying themselves to others. However, this ambiguity can come across as duplicitous, especially in environments where transparency is equated with trust. To some, their refusal to wear their intentions on their sleeves feels like a deliberate attempt to keep others in the dark, an action more often associated with schemers and manipulators than with self-reliant individuals. Number 6. Charismatic yet detached. The Sigma male's charisma is an enigma in itself. They don't chase attention, yet it seems to follow them wherever they go. Their confidence is quiet, their presence understated, but it's impossible to ignore. This magnetic quality draws people in, yet their emotional detachment creates a barrier that leaves others feeling both fascinated and unsettled. It's this paradox, being alluring yet aloof, that mirrors the aura of iconic villains and fuels the perception that Sigma males might not have entirely noble intentions. Their charisma is not the loud, commanding type often associated with alphas, nor is it the accommodating warmth of betas. Instead, it's rooted in self-assuredness and independence. Sigma males don't seek approval, and this lack of neediness makes their confidence feel genuine. People are drawn to their grounded energy, but their emotional distance can make them hard to read. This detachment can feel almost strategic, as though they're deliberately keeping everyone at arm's length, an attribute often seen in calculating antagonists. This duality is what makes them so compelling yet unnerving. Their ability to attract others without giving much of themselves creates a sense of mystery. People can't help but wonder, what's really going on behind that calm exterior? This curiosity can quickly turn into suspicion, especially when paired with their refusal to conform or explain themselves. The combination of charisma and detachment is a staple trait of many fictional villains. They're charming, articulate, and self-possessed, but their refusal to form deep emotional connections gives them an edge that feels dangerous. While Sigma males might not be plotting world domination, their enigmatic nature and refusal to fully engage can leave people questioning their motives, further solidifying the comparison to those magnetic, larger-than-life antagonists. Number 7. The Lone Wolf. Mythos feels predatory. The lone wolf is a figure that evokes admiration and unease in equal measure. Sigma males embody this archetype, thriving in solitude and choosing independence over group conformity. While society often romanticizes the lone wolf, painting them as mysterious and self-reliant, this same mythos also carries an undercurrent of danger. In nature, lone wolves are unpredictable, acting outside the safety of the pack. This association subtly colors how people perceive Sigma males, whose preference for solitude can feel predatory, even when it's rooted in nothing more than a desire for freedom. Group dynamics are inherently comforting to most people. They offer safety, predictability, and a shared sense of purpose. The Sigma male's deliberate rejection of this structure disrupts the norm. They don't rely on a pack for support or validation, which makes them harder to understand, and by extension harder to trust. People may wonder, if he's not here to belong, what is he here for? This unease stems from the deeply ingrained belief that someone who exists outside the group must be operating on motives we can't see or don't want to see. This perception is amplified by popular storytelling, where lone wolves are often depicted as dangerous outsiders. They move in silence, act on their own terms, and follow their instincts rather than societal rules. Villains are frequently cast in this mold, disconnected from the group, calculating, and unbound by the collective moral compass. When Sigma males choose solitude, they unintentionally echo this archetype, making it easy for others to project these traits onto them. Yet the Sigma male's preference for solitude isn't about malice or predation. It's about autonomy. They thrive outside the pack not because they wish to prey on it, but because they see no need to depend on it. Still, this detachment can feel threatening to a society that equates belonging with safety, feeding the myth that the lone wolf is inherently dangerous. Number 8. Their intellect feels weaponized. Intelligence is a double-edged sword. It can inspire admiration or provoke fear, depending on how it's perceived. Sigma males are often highly intelligent, but what sets them apart is how they use their intellect. They are strategic thinkers, calculating and precise in their decisions. They don't flaunt their intelligence for approval or validation. They wield it like a tool, applying it efficiently to achieve their goals. While this approach is pragmatic, it can appear cold or even predatory, much like the intellectual cunning of a villain who always seems to be several steps ahead. The Sigma male's intelligence feels weaponized because it's rarely on display for showmanship. They don't waste words or energy proving themselves to others, which makes their intellect seem deliberate and focused. This calculated nature can make people feel uneasy. In group dynamics where transparency and predictability are often valued, the Sigma male's quiet analysis can feel like they're observing weaknesses or planning their next move. Their ability to anticipate outcomes and act accordingly can create the impression that they're playing a different game altogether, one where they hold all the cards. This mirrors the traits of many iconic villains. In stories, the most unsettling antagonists aren't just physically powerful. They're mentally formidable. They understand the system better than anyone and know how to exploit it. The Sigma male's strategic mindset and unwillingness to conform evoke similar fears, even if their goals are far from malicious. What's misunderstood is that this weaponized intellect isn't about manipulation. It's about efficiency. Sigma males value their time and energy, using their intelligence to navigate life on their terms. But because society often equates intelligence with morality, their detached, strategic approach can be misread as cunning or self-serving, reinforcing the perception of them as potential predators in disguise. Number 9. The fear of the unknown. The human mind is wired to seek patterns and understand the world around us. We thrive on categorization. It helps us feel safe and in control. When someone operates outside of these neat boxes, it creates a sense of discomfort. Sigma males, by their very nature, defy categorization. They don't fit the predictable mold of the alpha or beta male, and their behavior often challenges traditional social expectations. This resistance to being labeled, while empowering for the Sigma male, makes them an enigma to others. And as the saying goes, we fear what we don't understand. Sigma males exist in a space that is neither here nor there. They don't seek leadership or submission, and they aren't bound by societal norms. Their independence means they don't have the usual motivations that others can relate to. No need for dominance, no desire for validation. This creates a psychological void where others, unable to define them, begin to fill in the gaps with their own interpretations. Most of the time, those interpretations aren't kind. People are quick to assume that something unfamiliar must be dangerous or threatening. This fear of the unknown is a primal response. We find comfort in the familiar, and when someone steps outside the expected, they can seem like a threat. Sigma males are the ultimate outsiders in a world that values belonging, and this sense of alienation invites suspicion. Why won't they conform? What are they hiding? These questions naturally arise when people don't understand the Sigma's motivations or actions. In the absence of clarity, the mind defaults to fear. It's easier to view someone as a potential adversary or villain when their intentions aren't immediately apparent. The Sigma male's existence outside conventional norms makes them a perfect target for this kind of suspicion. And the more others fear what they don't understand, the more the Sigma's refusal to explain himself only adds to the mystery, further reinforcing the perception of danger. Number 10. Elusive nature mirrors the archetypal villain. The Sigma male's preference for independence and self-reliance positions him as an elusive figure, one who doesn't conform to societal expectations or seek out the spotlight. This quiet existence in the shadows, while empowering for the Sigma, mirrors the behavior of many fictional villains who operate outside of established norms. In stories, the most iconic villains are often those who stay hidden, watching from the periphery, their intentions unclear and their next moves impossible to predict. The Sigma male, by choosing to live outside the established social structures, evokes the same sense of mystery and unpredictability, making it easy for others to project villainous qualities onto them. Sigma males don't chase attention or approval. They don't fit the mold of the extroverted, leader-driven alpha, nor do they follow the submissive tendencies of the beta. Instead, they are perfectly content to remain in the background, letting their actions speak louder than any words or overt demonstrations of power. This elusive nature makes them hard to define, and in a world that craves certainty, their refusal to be categorized or easily understood triggers suspicion. This mirrors the archetypal villain, who is often a shadowy figure, acting from the sidelines, manipulating events from a distance. The villain's actions may be driven by a personal code or goal that remains hidden until the right moment, just as the Sigma male's intentions are rarely revealed up front. Both operate outside the typical social hierarchies, choosing to chart their own course and remain removed from the conventional narrative. The Sigma male's elusiveness, while not inherently malicious, draws attention precisely because it defies the expectation that people should be transparent or easily understood. Just as villains in fiction keep their cards close to their chest, the Sigma male's ability to stay under the radar and control his own narrative feels unsettling to those who are more accustomed to obvious intentions and open displays of personality. In a world built on categories and expectations, the Sigma male remains an anomaly, an enigma that both fascinates and unsettles. His refusal to conform, his independence, and his emotional detachment make him a figure that defies easy understanding. While some may admire his self-reliance, others see his ambiguity as a threat, a reflection of the villains they've been conditioned to fear. But the Sigma male isn't the villain. He's simply choosing a different path, one that doesn't require validation, approval, or adherence to societal norms. In the end, it's the very qualities that make the Sigma male so unique: his quiet confidence, strategic mind, and preference for solitude that invite suspicion and misinterpretation. The world may label him as aloof, mysterious, or even dangerous, but what they fail to see is the strength in his detachment, the power in his independence, and the peace in his refusal to play by the rules. In a world that demands conformity, the Sigma male chooses authenticity, and while that might make him misunderstood, it's precisely this unwillingness to compromise that allows him to live by his own terms, free from the constraints of societal expectation. The villain is often just the hero of a story we haven't yet learned to understand. If you found yourself captivated by the complex world of Sigma males and the mysteries they embody, then don't let this be the end of the journey. Dive deeper, explore more, and join a community that isn't afraid to challenge the norms and embrace the extraordinary. Hit that subscribe button and be part of a channel that brings you not just answers, but the kind of insights that will make you think, question, and grow. Don't miss out on the conversations that matter, the perspectives that challenge, and the content that's truly one of a kind. Subscribe now, and let's continue uncovering the layers of the world around us, together.